right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 108 and 9. It reads, Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Over Philistia will I triumph. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the supreme power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKadash, and double honors to the elders, to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the few sisters watching and learning. Stay strong and remain humble. This is the brother Cousin One from the GMS Bahamas camp. Back at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, with another lesson. Lord's willing, the lesson be edifying and serves a purpose, which is to help build the spiritual tabernacle of King David. All right. The lesson of the Most High put on my spirit is concerning a nuclear space station that China and Russia is in cahoots with building on the moon. Okay? And we know that the Most High Power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, have a selective judgment for each of them. Okay? And we know Russia, all Russians being Edomites, China being Moab. This is why the Most High Power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, is going to put judgment on them. All right? Not only for spoiling, all right, the apples of the Lord's eye, which is you so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos, all right, the real Israel, and speckled birds scattered across the four winds, because this thing don't go with skin color or looks. Not only because of that, but because of their wickedness and their madness that they try to achieve, all right, on this earth. All right, we know, all right, that the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, all right, it's on the top of the food chain right now, because the Most High Power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai has him there. But we know that China is also proud also. China think that they have necks. All right, so this is why they are blasting these space stations into space, trying to do moon landings. You know what I mean? But all this is going to come full circle to a full head, sparking off World War III. All right, because once they can put these things on the moon or put these things in place, all right, all this is to do is to increase their nuclear capability, all right, with satellite and radar technology, all right, if you could receive that. But here I have a short clip, fair use only, all right, from Gravitas, stating, all right, the plans of Esau and Moab. And I got a couple of precepts, all right, to march them down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, all right, just showing you that the scriptures are written in real time. All right, but I can play the video first. God's willing to be edifying.
First it was trade, then tech, then came the Indo-Pacific standoff and cyber snooping. The US-China-Russia rivalry that has been evolving from a contest of influence to a global turf war is now going beyond our planet. Our next story.
And as we know, like I said, Esau Edom is in control now, all right, but we have China who think that they have next, not knowing that only two more major prophecies to go to fulfill the holy scriptures before the return of our Lord and Savior, Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. But all this is going to continue, all this is going and coincidentally, all right, with prophecy, just how the Most High Power Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai wants the scriptures to play out, they're playing out, all right?
Story takes a look at how China and Russia may build a nuclear plant on the moon to power a lunar station. Take a look.
Three superpowers. One desolate lunar surface, a new frontier where old rivalries sharpen into something unprecedented. The world's most powerful nations are no longer content to spar over trade, technology, or military might on Earth. They are now racing to plant their flags and their nuclear reactors on the moon. For years, the US, China, and Russia have jostled for supremacy in every conceivable arena. From tit-for-tat tariffs and technology bans to military drills and proxy wars, the struggle for dominance is relentless. Now, the battleground is shifting skyward. The moon, once a symbol of human unity and wonder, has morphed into the next chessboard for global power politics. China and Russia's audacious plan to build a nuclear power plant on the lunar surface. This is not some far-off projection. Official presentations now openly discuss timelines, reactor designs, and the logistics of constructing an international lunar research station powered by nuclear energy. China's Chang'e 8 mission, slated for 2028, will lay the groundwork for building a permanent manned lunar base. What makes it even more interesting is the collaboration between Moscow and Beijing. Russia's space agency Roscosmos said last year that it planned to build a nuclear reactor on the moon's surface in partnership with the Chinese Space Agency.
3, 2, 1. Boosters in and liftoff of Artemis 1.
The implications are seismic. The U.S., with its Artemis program aiming to return astronauts to the moon by December 2025, now faces a direct challenge, not just in exploration, but in the militarization and control of resources in space. The prospect of a Chinese-Russian nuclear-powered base, inaccessible to NASA and its allies, signals a new era of exclusion and escalation. Bureau Report, VON, World is One.
Khan. All right, so we see that they have a global arms race, right? A global arms race between Russia, China, and Babylon. And we know Russia and Babylon, aka America, they one people. All right, that's Esau, Edom. All right, they Esau. All right, China is Moab. And this is the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 108, Salakia, verse 9. It reads, Moab is my washport. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Over Philistia will I triumph. All right, showing Moab, all right, that they're going to be basically in subservience, all right, in the new kingdom, all right. In the new kingdom, they're going to be subservient and us, because if you know Chinese have pride towards our people, you so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos, especially the Negroes, all right, they like our money. They build in our inner cities to try and make money off of us, and make merchandise off of us, but they don't really like us. They'll follow you up and down through a store. You understand? All right. But the Most High said, look what the Most High said, Edom, I will cast out of my shoe. All right. We know what their outcome is gonna be. All right. So Edom is gonna be gonna have a slow 1,000 years of slavery. All right, and then they're gonna be disintegrated. They're gonna be cast out forever. All right. That said, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right. We also have some other judgment here in the book of Zephaniah. Zephaniah 2 and 9. It says, I can start from 8. All right. Zephaniah 2 and 8 says, I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revelings of the children of Ammon. All right. When you're studying these scriptures, when you're reading the holy scriptures of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you have to know how to identify these people. Moab being China, and Ammon being Japan, Japanese. All right. It says, whereby they have reproached my people Like I just finished saying. All right, they'll follow you up and down in the store thinking you could thieve something. They don't think nothing good of you. They only think that they can make money off of you. All right, they look down upon you. They look at us, take a look at our people as monkeys. All right, they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. Verse 9 says, therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Lord of armies, the power of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah. All right, showing you that the Most High Power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, going to put that fire on them in that day of judgment. All right, they're going to be destroyed. It says, even the breeding nettles and salt pits and the perpetual desolation and residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. All right, so they're going into slavery. All right, they ain't going to be completely destroyed, but those who survive, all right, they're going to be subservient to Israel. All right, because our people were held in captivity, all right, with them. All right, so this only basically payback from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, as we know the Most High Power is a balanced power. All right. Verse 10 says, this shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of armies, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right. So that's the judgment for them, boy. The Most High Power, he ain't playing with them. All right. China gonna have their judgment. All right, to save Israel. All right. Like I say, Russians. All right, they are Edomites. They are Edomites also. So they think they will be ruling forever. All right. And that's their mindset. That's why they're doing all these space explorations and things. That's the mindset of this damn devil, the so-called white man, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. They think they're going to be ruling forever. So what they're trying to do is find new ways, find new technologies, all right, find new ways to do wickedness, all right, all to try rule over our people, all right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 49 and 11. It reads, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. All right, so that's why they're doing all these explorations and trying to find new planets and trying to find new ways to digitally enslave our people. You understand? Trying new ways to invent themselves. All right, because they think that they're going to rule forever, not knowing that the return of Lord Yahweh Shai is more closer than ever. The return of Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach is more closer than ever. Only 2 more major prophecies to go. As we see the mandatory implementation of that Karagma, all right, it's here. All right, they just filtering it in. All right, it hasn't been made worldwide, but it's getting closer and closer every day. Wars and rumors of wars, the war drums up, the saber rattlings of war. All right, it's kicking off. Look at Myanmar. All right, the army take over Myanmar. All right, look at Russia and Ukraine. Still ain't no peace after almost 4 years. All right, China getting ready to take over Taiwan. All right, Putin ready to take on all NATO and her allies. All right, NATO and the European Union, the beast system spearheaded by Babylon. Russia's getting ready to attack them. All right, we have look at even in our parts with our people. Look at Haiti. All right, look at Venezuela. All right, we have these things happening on a worldwide scale. But let me don't stray too far from the topic. This is Psalms 49 and 11. It reads, the inward part is thought. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Okay? That's the mindset of the so-called white man, Esau Edom. That's their mindset. All right? And let me get a little bit in the article. I get the theory part of it. It's lock you. It says China signs a deal with Russia to build a power plant on the moon, potentially leaving the U.S. in the dust. Right? It says that the new memorandum has firmed up a China and Russia intent to lead the construction of a new lunar base to be completed by 2036, as NASA talks about scaling back its lunar ambition. Russia signed a deal with China to build a nuclear power plant on the moon. It says that the Russian reactor will be used to power the International Lunar Research Station, the LRS, jointly led by China and Russia, and should be completed by 2036, according to the memorandum of cooperation signed by the two nations. Okay, so like I said, all right, they think they're going to be here forever. They think they're going to be ruling forever. All right, so this is space race. All right, it says the announcement comes just after NASA revealed a 2026 budget proposal that would ask the agency's plan for an orbital lunar base. All right, so while Babylon the Great, while aka America, all right, is basically cutting back on their construction, showing you that the Babylon system is basically falling. Russia and China is gaining strength and momentum, all right, towards building this new station. You understand? But then none of this is going to come to fruition, all right? Because Lord's willing, by that time, Lord Yahweh Mashiach will done be here, all right, to give us our salvation. All right, we're going to watch the strangest of our salvation, all right, from those chariots. The Most High Power Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. He ain't playing. All right. But this is Revelation 6 and 15. All right, it reads, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. All right, so this is where it shows you how what their intention is by using those international space stations and using those lunar programs, using these programs to try, all right, and find and blast off and find ways of hiding, all right, from the destruction of the Most High, from the judgment of the Most High. All right, so this is what they do with pertaining to their exploratory missions, trying to find a way to thinking that they would be able to escape. All right, because when it says here the kings of the earth, meaning the great men, presidents, all right, presidents, kings, all right, elite men, all right, and the rich men, all right, you're talking about Bill Gates, all right, Jeff Bezos, all right, the hidden hands, all right, the hidden hands of the Illuminati, all right, the top banking families, all right, and the chief captains, meaning their war generals, their army generals, their naval captains, and so on and so on. All right, it's me and them. So this is what they try to do. This is what they are trying to do, pertaining to building those lunar satellites. All right, and those lunar space stations on the moon, between China and Russia. All right, this is Revelation 6 and 16. It reads, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Like I said, this is what they're trying to do, to basically hide themselves, all right, from the return of Lord Yahweh Shai and Mashiach, and from his judgment. They think they're going to be able to duck it, all right, but that's not so. All right, verse 70 says, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? All right, they ain't going to be able to stand, man, you know. Let me get a little bit more in the article and get out of here. It says that the station will conduct fundamental space research and technology for the long-term uncrewed operations of the IRLS, the ILRS, with the prospect of human beings' presence on the moon. Roscrombs wrote in May 8 announcement following the signing of a memorandum. The new research station, a permanent manned lunar base located on the moon's south pole, has so far attached 17 countries to join the program, including Egypt, Pakistan, Venezuela, Thailand, South Africa. Its groundwork will be laid by China's 2028 Change 8 mission, which will be the nation's first time landing an astronaut on the lunar surface. All right. So let me just get the book in Amos. All right, because All this is madness. But the Most High Power Yahweh Bashim Yahushai have them in his strict bag. He have them right where he want them, doing the things that he want them to do. All right. Zema 9:1 it says, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the post may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. All right. So this all them nations thinking that they being slick and could escape the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, mainly Esau, Edom. All right. Mainly Moab, because we have rich men, mainly them Ishmael them. Right, because we have wealthy nations all over us, and all them are the hand in the captivity and the downtrodden of our people. All right. So when they think they're going to be able to hide in these bunkers, hide in these spaceships, hide on these planets, hide in the ocean, it's not going to happen. All right. The Most High Power Yahweh Shem Yahushai says he's going to slay them. It's in the verse 2. It says, though they dig into hell, then shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. All right, so they digging into hell, trying to have these bunkers made under mountains. All right, and then they have and then we have them trying to blast off into space. All right, pertaining to trying to hide themselves. All right, from the hand of Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. It's not gonna happen. All right, verse 3 says, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out. Thence, and though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence I will command the serpent, and he shall bite them. All right. So they can run, but they can't hide. They can run, but they can't hide. Okay. The Most High Power Yahweh Shem Yahushai have them right where he want them. All right. But yeah, man, that's I think that's all I have for right now. Goes to show, all right, that scriptures are and prophecy is taking place in the sequence of the Most High Power Yahweh Bashim Yahushai wants it to. All right, there's no running and no hiding from the Most High Power Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, they're trying to basically find out, all right, find out the ways of the Most High Power Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, but to no avail. All right, the Lord only going to give them a certain amount of knowledge or a certain amount of wisdom to do what He wants them to do. But you see all them conspiring, all right, to go to with these nuclear endeavors into space. All this is going to cause them to fall out. This is going to be another reason for them to fall out, all right, and then war to erupt, all right. So as we are commanded to measure the times diligently, we just have to keep an eye on these certain things, you know. All right. But nonetheless, Lord's willing, this lesson was edifying and served its purpose. I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the Supreme Power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakaha, Kadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. All right. Till we meet again, this is Brother God's one closing hug. Shalom, Abad Babon, and Ban-Yasharahla.